What's going on, everybody? Y'all know what it is. Mr. Straight Up doing a recap, coming back today. This is what we're talking about. The Alice Smith story. Yes, the Alice Smith story. She down in Illinois right now. We waiting on her to come in. If anybody would like to come on in, y'all got to come on in before she get here. And here is Miss Alice. Let me add you to the stage. Hello, Miss Alice.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
You know what? I'm doing good for a Friday. I had to make sure I was on time, set my clock and everything.
Look, it's you have lit up the airwaves. You have lit up the airwaves. And people have been coming to me, they went back, they look at your profile, and they like, man, I never would have expected this from her. Like, where did this come from? Like, they all blown away. They checked your pictures out and they like,
Yeah.
what's really going on?
Yeah, I get
So
that a lot. I get like I have what they call the surprise element. Like surprise,
you
surprise.
surprised. Listen, you surprised me. So I got you. So let me start by asking you, how did you end up on my page?
I tried to replay the conversation, and I cannot, for the life of me, recall what made me even start talking about my cousin. What prompted that? And I can't think about it. I can't remember. And so that's one of the side effects, because I had a stroke in March. So I still have some cognitive skill challenges as far as memory loss.
Okay.
So yeah, so I can't remember what you were talking about, but you had an interesting page, and I like the content. So, and I've always been one. I love to engage. I think internet was made for a Gemini, because we love information. We just love it coming and going. We like the engagement.
So I dated a Gemini, one in my life. It's like 9 of y'all people in one. So who was
it's
I
more
talking
than
to?
that. Is
So
how many is like a kaleidoscope. How you turn a little thing and you just see all them different. That's the best description I can give.
all right, so before I get started here, tell me a little bit about yourself. Give me a background, before we get into, what we came for. Give me a little background about yourself.
Okay.
Family, friends, where you come from, and we'll get into, what's coming up next.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm the baby. I'm the baby of four. I have two brothers and one sister. Raised in your average two-parent household. I had a lot of people. Like I said, I've never been molested, but I have survived emotional neglect, because I was the good kid. I didn't have any problems, or I didn't get in trouble. I usually tried to do the right thing. So I was the goody two shoe type kid, and I was the tattletale. So
Every family
I was a
has one.
daddy's girl. He worked afternoons. So when he came home, I was the one sitting with him, telling him everything that went on in the house.
Okay. All right. So
So
I know you live down in Illinois right now. So how long have you lived there? And tell us about your time in Detroit and why'd you move away?
nope, I was born and raised. I was born in Chattanooga, raised here in Detroit, went back to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and graduated high school. That's a whole nother long story. That's a whole nother segment. And then I came back to Michigan in 89, because that's where I did meet my first husband. Came back in 89, got married in 92. Uh,
Okay.
Stayed with him until 96, 97. That's a whole nother rabbit's hole too. But ended up sticking around Detroit. I'm an artist, and I'm always in the creative space. So I love neo soul. So I started a company called 80 Proof Entertainment, and I
Okay.
would put shows together, and I just always wanted to like be the plug. And so I always loved the entertainment field. I've always said Detroit will be the next entertainment capital in the US.
All right, I salute that too,
Oh yeah.
and I like where you went there. So let me take it from there just a little bit. So
Hmm.
if you've always been into music and always been into the entertainment field and things like that, so I'm going back to what you had brought up earlier about, you and your cousin kind of ran into each other back in 1981, when y'all were around each other. And then there was a long time in between. So knowing who that person is now, is that was something that kind of brought y'all together, or did y'all start doing writing together and it brought y'all closer before y'all became intimate?
When we met back up, when we found each other, we would say that, because I looked for him for a little bit, because he was one of those cousins. Everybody knew his name, Papa Duck. Papa Duck. Where's Papa Duck? He had did some time, in away and on vacation. He had
Of
done some
course.
things like that. So we wasn't saying, oh, he's just washed up. He's always going to be in the streets, but he always had that stigma on him of being a rough kid, which is why the movie Action Jackson was written about him.
Okay.
And so there's a rapper in Florida named Papa Doc.
Nothing personal.
Yeah, that's another person. So I inboxed him and I'm like, hey, do you have someone in your family named XYZ? And he's like, no. And I was like, oh, and I asked him how old he was. I said, well, no, that you're not him, because we're about the same age. We're actually the same age. And so he's like, no,
Okay.
it's not me. So then somehow he had a mutual friend that must have tagged me on something that he was promoting, because that's when he was doing the video shop and things like that. And they must have tagged me. And then I said, Papa Duck. I said, let me jump in his inbox. And I jumped in his inbox. And the first thing he said, he called out my name and my sister's name, because together we were, if you hear Angie, you hear Alice. And he was like,
Okay.
Angie and Alice. And I was like, yes. So then it was like, I found you. First thing he asked me was, have you talked to my grandfather? He didn't know his grandfather was dead, which
Oh
was
wow.
my cousin. Yeah. Which was my cousin, my mother's first cousin. His grandfather was my mother's first cousin. So, and we had put my mom, my aunt name on his refrigerator because he lived by himself. He was a senior and he was real. He lived in solitude. He's like, basically didn't want any company. Don't have to come check on him. He was that type of guy. Well, he died. He was like John Doe for like 2 weeks. And my
Oh
sister,
wow.
did the funeral. So that's one person that passed. So when we when we connected, the first thing he asked me was, have you seen my grandfather? And I was like, oh my God, you don't know. He was like, what? I said, your grandfather died some years ago.
So is that something that brought y'all a little bit closer after that?
Yes, because I actually had some things out of my cousin's wallet, his grandfather's wallet, like his last pay stub, check stub, and his ID, his driver's license. So I figured I would just hold on to it, because I obviously been holding on to it all this time. I'll give that to him because that's the last that he would have from his grandfather. So we decided to meet at Teresa's, famous Teresa's, which is my
Not
spot.
Teresa's.
Yes, Teresa's it gotta be in
Teresa's.
there.
Hey, Teresa's
So,
was everybody's spot at one time in their life, just about.
yes, absolutely. So I met him up there, and I was there with my girlfriend and my play sister. And my girlfriend, she was digging them and everything. And I introduced them, and they swapped numbers, exchanged numbers. So they were kind of like trying to start something, right?
Okay.
So maybe like 2 weeks after that, we happy to connect. And he was like, yeah, we got to hang out. He invited me to one of his the video shop's anniversary party. So I went to that. We hung out. I said, we in the same line of work because I like doing shows and like being around music and talent as well. So we like, oh, okay, bet we're going to have to hang out. And here I am thinking that I have found a road buddy, like to go hang out and stuff where I'm not out by myself and these different things. Because I love Detroit artists, rappers, all Detroit artists, R&B, poets.
Okay,
So,
so let me ask you this real quick. So what you're saying to me is, so when you first got back around, you was happy to be back around family, right? How did it turn to you were looking at him a little bit different? When was the transformation from I'm glad to be back around my family, I know he just tried to hide my girl? When did that glow in your eye or that look he gave you one night or one day come across where y'all both said, hmm?
well, 2 weeks after, we, connected, he was like, what you doing this weekend? I said, I don't have nothing planned. I said, I'm about to fry up some shrimp. You're more than welcome to come over. And he was like, is it cool if I bring your girl? My friend who they had, got each other's number. I said, yeah, that's my girl. Yeah, she can come over. So he came over and we sitting in the living room eating fries and shrimp, smoked. And he's telling us all these different stories about things that has happened in his life. So me and my girlfriend sitting there just enjoying the company. But as the night went on, I could tell he kept looking at me. He kept staring at me. That I was feeling like my girl might be feeling some kind of way because she already asked me, what's up with your cousin? But I'm like, I don't know. He's single. We just got back into each other's lives. So it was no attraction was there, but I could feel him watching me the whole night.
Okay, so
and so
they
I thought it
leave.
was the weed. Because I just kept looking at him too. I was like, wow, he really has a good conversation. He really can tell a good story. He's a writer. He, talks about all of that. So he would give us story
So
after story.
so I'm gonna ask you directly. Was you getting a little moist around him?
No.
Okay. Okay.
But our
So they
eyes caught each other. And it was that look like, oh, okay. Like, because
it,
he's not bad on the eyes,
no,
And
because I
so,
know him, yeah.
yeah, he's like, he's not bad on the eyes. So I'm just, enjoying the evening, hosting my cousin and my friend at my house on the weekend night, just chilling. So the next day, I was like, I don't know what that was, but I was feeling something. And I told my play sister about it. And the first thing she said, don't fuck your cousin.
Hold on. So let's start right there. So why would your play sister think that you would fuck your cousin? Because inquiring minds really want to know that. We know what ended up happening, but why would she even think that you would fuck your cousin?
Well, see, she was digging him too at Teresa's when we first met face to face. She was there too. And they was Googling eyes and all of that too. And they exchanged numbers.
Okay, so at what point did you two get together and were alone and y'all crossed that point where you're gonna get
Well, that
this?
next day, but like I said, when I talked to my sister, like what happened that night, and I was like, girl, I was feeling something. And she like, don't fuck your cousin. And I'm like, girl, I ain't thinking about nothing like that. He was there for baby, my girlfriend. So when I talked to him, I said, I'm gonna talk to him right now because I was at work when I talked to my sister. And so I was like, you're gonna never guess how I felt. He was like, you're not gonna guess how I felt. So we both saying the same things, like, did you feel that? And I was like, yeah. I said, and how I said I attributed to the weed. I said, I must have been high. I said, but I still feel that way.
And
Like
what he
it was
say?
something there. It was something more than just, oh, you my cousin. It was something. It was an attraction. So he
What
was
did he
like,
say
yeah,
though?
huh?
What did he say directly after you said that? What did he say?
He was like, I feel the same way. And he was like, then he said, I
So,
can't wait to see you again. I can't wait to hang out. So maybe next couple of weekends, he came back over. And then it was a little different because then it was like, I want to kiss you so bad. And I was like, wow. And I was like
oh,
captivated.
so he made the first move for the kiss and everything then.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
So, but and I'm feeling like, whoa, this is a lot. This is heavy. So, me being the person that I am and knowing how my aunt, his grandmother, how my Aunt Louise was, I do believe that I don't say I have seances and talk to my ancestors, but I do have a ancestor space in my home where I have like obituaries and like my dad's picture because he's passed away now, my grandma. So I keep pictures and obituaries in a certain area in my house. So I had a girlfriend, an acquaintance, and she's like what you would call a spiritual guide. She is a motivational speaker. She teaches women like self-love, self-care.
Let me
And
cut in right there real quick. So
yep.
lately, there have been numerous people coming up with spiritual guides. And the people that tend to come up with the spiritual guides and things like that, the people who talk about them tend to end up doing crazy things or going off the deep end. So
Mm-hmm.
do you think it's something that's going on with the spiritual guys that's influencing y'all or pushing y'all over the edge or leading y'all down the path where things are right and things are wrong, but you tend to go the wrong way? Are they giving you the wrong lead? That's where I'm going with this because I've had quite a few people recently saying they have spiritual advisors and they've been doing some things. And just like you told me about your dream, one of them had dreams also about things before they even happened. So
Mm-hmm.
I want you to touch on that just a little bit on how the spiritual advisor touched you and told you to go forward, and you was like, "Okay, I'm with it."
Yeah. Well, I had watched her and was a follower of hers for some years. And, she was very precise with her intuition, with her practice. So I had built a level of trust. She was a woman. I was middle-aged, too. And I built a level of trust with her because I watched her life. And when I talked to her, she said, because she was like, well, whether or not she was consulting the answers, but she was like, I'm getting a nod, yes. Because I said, is this something that I should be doing? Because I inquired, I sought out her guidance before anything happened. And she was like, I'm getting a nod from your ancestors.
And after that, it made you want to go
So
visit your
I
cousin.
felt like then I had the conversation with him.
And
Like
his response to your spiritual leader, he was like, "Yeah," or
he was
what?
more like he don't buy too far into it. It's just that he knows that his grandmother and mother would be okay because of who I was, in his family.
Oh
Not that
wow!
they would be all condoning it, but it wouldn't be shunned, frowned upon because of the closeness of our family. And
All right.
I told him right then and there, I said, well, my auntie wasn't a joke. She stabbed a nigga with an ice pick. So if you
Okay,
thinking
basic
about
instinct.
playing games, because I know you, You got a lot of women around you. I mean, he had a harem around him. A few of them gave me problems. So I was like, I'm not with none of the BS. Off the rip, I said, and if this ever goes left, if this don't work out and ever goes left, there is no coming back to this. That
Well,
will
you know
be
what?
it.
I want to go left real quick.
Okay.
And the reason I want to go left because there were some things that you said and some timelines that were kind of contradictory earlier. So I want to give yourself a chance to clean it up. So you were asked by a few viewers earlier, what was the timeline that y'all were together? So you first started out with 2017 to 2020, and then you came back with 2016 to 2017. That's kind of a big disparity. So can you tell me why those dates and things changed like that?
It was a solid year. That's what I know. So I'm going to go back and recorrect that and say that it was 2016 to 2017 because we did 4 plays in 1 year.
And that was the year that you did the plays?
Yes,
While
with
y'all
him.
was sexually active? Okay.
Right.
All right. So now y'all sexually active. Y'all got some money coming in. This is the part where you said that the family was okay with it because y'all was like a power couple. So do you look back on the time that your family was saying is okay, wishing they were saying that this is not okay because you know it's not okay?
Yes. I do wish that I had their honest feedback versus saying, y'all grown, I don't see nothing wrong with it. Not like I don't see nothing wrong with it, but not like dogging me out. Like, girl, you don't need to do that. It was all grinning and smiling when my mom would come over and he would be there. She just so happy to see him because that's her little cousin, her cousin's baby.
All right.
So
I, I don't get the logistics, because society, even myself, says it's kind of crazy because my family, they would go on the nut, boy. All hell would break loose. So with all hell breaking loose, you said that you thought it was time to get rid of him because he disrespected you in front of your son. And
yeah.
I repeatedly asked you, like, you don't think you was already being disrespectful by being with your cousin. So tell me what he did in front of your son that where you thought it was time.
Well, with the plays and everything, I pretty much managed the cast and hosted the rehearsals. We had rehearsals and it was mainly at my house. So I, hosted, facilitated that and helped direct, with scenes and things like that. A lot of
Okay.
the props, made sure all of the props were purchased and things like that, just like a team working together to accomplish something. So when it came time to give those accolades, I wasn't mentioned. And then he was supposed to pay my son and he didn't because my son was in all of his plays too. So it just became, this ain't right because now you straight disrespecting me. You can't even have the host read my name because you worried about your girlfriends in the audience. Like, because everybody, all the women, they really gave me problems because he, like I said, he lied to us all. He gave all of us the same dream. So everybody is hoping to be this Mrs. and live out this life after all of these productions take fire.
I got to stop you right there because
Mm-hmm.
you just said something that sparked me. And that was, you said all of his girlfriends were in the audience and he told all of y'all the same lies. But then you went on to say all of y'all wanted to be his missus. What made you think in your mind that it was okay to be your cousin's missus? and I would really like to be like an answer on this, and I know there's other people that's looking on that wouldn't understand that neither. So please help us all understand.
So, when you're dreaming with your person that you're with and you're intimate with, and you have all of your life's goals and what could possibly happen if A, B, C, D, E, F, G fall in place, and you begin to live in that futuristic space, like how would I handle that type of what do you call it,
We'd say
fandom,
atmosphere.
or
There you go.
all of that, how would I handle it? And then it was like, and then what about us, the elephant in the room? And he was like, I would be ready to face the world, with you as my wife, even though you're my cousin. And it became more of a fantasy.
Uh, I know there are viewers on here, but I have to ask you this directly because I wouldn't be Mr. Straight Up if I didn't.
Yeah, straight
Was
up. Go ahead.
was the dick that good? I just gotta ask you straightforward. Was the dick that good
And
where it had you blinded?
I'm gonna tell you straight up. I never give myself if it ain't. If the dick ain't good, it ain't even nothing to keep doing. So
Okay, okay. So
he came with an A game. He came with his
okay,
A
so
game.
going right behind that, how did you come to your son and let your son know, because he was in the plays? How did you let your son know, like, me and your cousin are together because y'all cousins, which makes them cousins? So how
Yeah.
did you portray that to your son, that I love my cousin, son, and it's your cousin?
I did not portray a relationship in his presence. When my son would come to the rehearsals, he would rehearse, and that's it. And then he go about his business as a child. I didn't, allow him to know what mommy is doing, in his face. I didn't do that. I kind of kept that separate. He would still come over and spend the night with me, but even when my son started, coming up, he know mommy may have male company, and he knows that's grown folks business in there, and do not come in my bedroom unless you're bleeding.
Okay, so right there. So when your son did find out, how did that conversation go?
He wanted me to write it out. How are we connected? So I drew like a family tree and showed him the pictures, and showed him his relationship to because his grandma, which is my grandmother, is my son's big mama, which is
Oh,
Papa Duck's grandmother's sister. So it was two
okay.
sisters. My grandmother's sister is Papa Duck's grandmother.
Wow. Yeah, that's family.
So he, when I broke it down to him, I never went into details other than I made a decision to cross the line with him and become intimate. And that was my choice.
How did your son take it?
He didn't care, because it didn't bother him. He didn't care. He's like, as that you do what you want to do.
All right. So take me to the day where you finally said, you know what? We're done. Take me to
Okay.
that day. And because that day not only entails you breaking a relationship with the person that you were in love with, obviously, you breaking a relationship with your cousin, which a lot of people think is crazy because it's incest. And also you're breaking a relationship because you have been doing plays and things together. So you're breaking that, and you're breaking a part of the family off at the same time. Tell me how that day manifested in your mind, and how did you move forward on it?
Well, I felt that I was being taken for granted, like I was doing the most, which that has always been If I do something, I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it at 110%. It's going to be at a level of excellence because my name is on it. So when I saw that I was just being taken for a ride without any acknowledgement, I'm like, well, damn, even a dog want to be petted. And you had the microphone in your hand and you never gave me a shout out. You never shouted out my company. I have my own company, IO Entertainment International.
All right.
Never gave me a shout out, never thanked me for all the hard work and, you know, bringing things together. But if you let him tell it, I am the reason he is today. Like, she is the reason I am today. I get it all now, but at that moment when it mattered, I wasn't shit. So I was like, that's it. And the money wasn't right with the theater. And I had to square that away because, again, it's my name and my reputation. Because when I go to book a venue, they're only going to go off of the last experience that they had with you. And if you're the one with their name on the contract, that's my name. And I had to square the money away with him and then had to give him the rest of it as, you know, a gain, what we gained. But the money wasn't right. So it was a loss. And he didn't pay my son. So my son was upset. So I took the money and I had money of my own and I paid my son. Then I was like, you know, gave him the rest of the money that was, you know, squared away with the venue, and I was done with it. Cause that's
right.
it. Cause now you done fuck with my son.
Okay, so from that point on, you completely cut it off. Y'all never were intimate again or anything like that?
Never. And he had keys to my house. And so I kindly asked him to bring me my keys. And at that point, of course, his ego is bruised because this is a cycle that he does with all of the women, you know, take them up the mountain and only to push them down to the valley, you know. Well, it didn't matter to me no more. I was done. I was done with it. And he came, brought me my keys, and he tried to come back and cut up, you know, which put the nail in the coffin because it scared my child. And what I don't do is drama. You're not going to come to my house where I lay my head, bringing all that type of ruckus. I don't do that at all. Just go home and take your alcohol and whatever you got in your system that's making you act out of pocket like this, take that somewhere else. And when he did that, and I took my son to my mother's house, and I came back home, and that was it. That was a done deal. And then after that, you know, I got all the calls, you know, I'm so sorry and all of that, and what now I mean to you and all of that. It means nothing to me because I can never go back and say, let me try this again, because we already established that if this goes left, it's no coming back to this because we are family. So I got this, and now I'm going to stand on that. No, now I'm not fucking with you because you are my family, which is, like I said, the choice I made to cross the line, but I should have been in that position saying, no, I'm not fucking with you.
Absolutely, I agree. So would that be
well, we worked together. Would you have
on
sex
his with project. Another family member?
Yeah, we worked together on his project to Crush a Flower. My son is actually in that movie. He's one of the teenagers, if you ever get a chance to watch it. And, you know, I took my son to rehearsals because my son was at one point pursuing acting. And he liked the grit.
God. For some reason, I can't hardly hear you.
Uh-oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you a little better.
Okay. So, like I said, my son was in his project to Crush a Flower. So I made sure he was at rehearsals because my son at one point was pursuing acting, but he only wanted to act in Detroit films because of the grit. He didn't want the fluffy. type roles. He wanted grit. And so that's all that Papa Duck did was rated R stage plays.
Let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
If Papa Duck had got you pregnant, would you have kept the baby?
Hell no. Hell no. Not at all.
Would you ever have sex with another family member?
Absolutely not.
And
he's not the only family member that pushed up on me.
I'm pushing these at you real fast, real quick. So
it's okay.
Was the breakup the reason you moved to Chicago, Illinois?
No, I never lived in Chicago.
That's where you're located now, right?
I'm in Michigan. I'm in Warren.
Oh, you're in Warren, Michigan?
Yeah.
Do you every now and then go onto his page and watch his show?
Absolutely not.
Let me ask you this. If there was something that you never got a chance to say to him, what would you say to him? Say it to him now.
I appreciate the opportunity for the experience of what I learned doing those stage plays, because I did my own, and it is a lot of work, but it's so satisfying to see it all come together. And so I appreciate the opportunity to watch him do it and to be a part of it, hands-on. That's a great experience that I probably would have never got.
Tell me this.
All the rest of it, I never want to experience that again. Not with him or not with anyone else.
What was your biggest thing that you learned from this whole situation?
Don't fuck your cousins.
Finally, we on the same page. Because I asked you so many times this morning, I wasn't asking you, I was telling you, it's crazy because you didn't need a reason to stop fucking your cousin. You went through all these ups and downs, and I wanted to get on your head before we get out of here. Why did you give me that about?
I think it was more so my defiance. I have a very defiant persona. If you tell me I can't do something or I shouldn't do something, I take it as you trying to control me. Let me make my own mistakes. Let me make my own decisions. Now, unless you see something or something that's facts and truth and not just your feelings or your opinion on something, keep it all to yourself. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to go home and make a decision on what I want to do, and I'm going to go for it. Okay, and I've always been that way. It's defiance.
Okay. Well, I don't want you to be defiant when I ask this next question. I want you to tell me, matter of fact, don't tell me nothing. I want you to tell the women who listening how you make these numbers come out of the air where you can get a man's voicemail.
Okay. Let me reenact it for you. I'm in the office.
Okay.
I'm in the office and I'm trying to be that chick that's like, I'm not about to be checking on his page. Because to me, it does take a lot of energy to be looking and lurking and trolling your man's page. It ain't that much to do that for. And if you got to do all that, your spidey senses are correct and just jump ship. You ain't got to put yourself through that, because we put ourselves through the agony, because we gonna see some shit that's foul. We gonna see some comments that is too risky. We gonna see women making it more than what it is. And
I want to see them numbers. Tell me how to get them damn numbers.
So I'm sitting in my cubicle, and I remember it was yesterday. I'm sitting there, and some said, check his messages. So I'm thinking Facebook messages, and I'm going on his page and trying to see if I can see any messages, And then it was like, no, check his voicemail. Now, when you have your voicemail on back in the day, all you had to do was hit star and the PIN number and you enter your voicemail. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't know this man's PIN number, and something said, bum, bum, bump 2.
You know,
And I, because as soon as I called them, of course, it went straight to voicemail. I hit star bump 02. And now I'm hearing all the information.
That's what I want to know. So now you done kind of gave me that. You was a little defiant right there too. But tell me what you heard on the voicemail where you was like, fuck that, we done.
Now this is where we're gonna go down another rabbit's hole. This is a whole nother rabbit hole, because now I can hear the women. Because I already done met them. I already know what they look like because of your Facebook page. But now I'm hearing these same women leave you voicemail messages. I done heard a woman want to commit suicide. I done heard arguing. I done heard all kind of just a lot of toxic. And whereas it's me, because of the person I am, I'm not gonna never confront you about your shit that I really didn't have no business in. So I ain't never confront him. Who is this, this, and this? I heard it. He never knew that I had it. So I never would tell him that I had his voicemail passcode unless he's listening live now.
Okay. Was any of the women that you heard on the voicemail helping with production, working the door, helping collect the money, or doing anything?
Yes.
So they were right in your face.
Listen, right in my face, to the point I told you, the young lady that you mentioned about the Lions tickets.
Are we talking about first name starts with a J?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll let you say her name. I won't say it live if you would like.
Well, even like in my memoirs, I don't protect the guilty. So yes, her name was Joanne, and she made it a point to me to tell me, so many other words, she ain't going nowhere and we are a team. She got it tattooed on her arm.
Damn.
We are a team. And one day, somehow we got on the phone with each other, and she said, you didn't know we was a part of a team. You didn't know we was a team. And I was like, is that what you teaching your daughters, to be a part of a goddamn team? I don't do teams.
Hold on. You don't have no goddamn right to tell nobody about how they teach their kids, and you was fucking your cousin. I'm gonna have to cut into you. Don't you get me started on this motherfucker.
No, now. I got your disclaimer. I'm saying, even though that was my choice, it was not the best choice, and I would not do it again. But I damn sure not gonna voluntarily. That's just like voluntarily being somebody's side piece. That has never been me. It's me and only me. You dealing with me, because I'm only gonna deal with you. But if it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other people, I'm not dealing with it at all. But she made it a point to say we are a team.
All right. Well,
and she would always collect. She would always be at the door at all of our events.
So how did that make you feel? Or did you trust her with the money?
She did her job. I didn't have a problem with her. She was never vocal to me and never got to any type of words crossing it. He had one girl, it did. Her name was T Diamond.
T Diamond?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she was most of the host. She hosted the plays. And she wanted to fight me. And I told her, I said, baby, I understand why you this upset. And I did. I understand we both was foolishly in love with a dream that was never going to happen. But at the end of the day, you walking yourself to your car. And I'm getting ready to go back into this party.
All right. So if you had something to say to the woman that he may have today, let me say it like that, or the harem, as you say, that helps him with these. Would you say anything to them right now, or have anything to say to them on this video right now?
I would, and I actually did at one point. I made a whole post about it because as a woman, we still at the end of the day got to have each other's back. We got to stick together. And it's not women against men. It's just the solidarity of women holding each other accountable. And I would apologize to them for anything that I may have shown in front of them that may have caused them some pain, because they made it a point to ask, who did I think I was?
So,
and I'm showing you who I am. I'm the wind beneath this motherfucker's wings. I'm helping to put this shit together because that's the type of woman I am. That's what I'm bringing to the table. I'm bringing motion. I'm bringing stability.
A lot of people would say that that's your version, which is your story. So is there any part of your version, if he ever came on here or did another interview, that he would say that she's lying?
Other than she didn't trust me when I was lying straight in her face. Like, I didn't believe all the bullshit. Yeah, he would think I just didn't fall. You know how he pimp gang. He didn't have me that far pimped out because some of the shit I just wasn't gonna believe. And everything that I didn't believe, one time, this girl, he was supposed to follow her home. They went to a party or something. He was supposed to follow her home. She following his ass, right? She was supposed to follow him to her house. He pulled up in my driveway and came in the house and got in the bed. And this chick was on Facebook tripping the hell out. I mean, she was losing it. Because I'm on Facebook late at night, I'm watching it. And this nigga, because of course he was drunk and high, he goes to sleep. I get that phone number because you know you turn your phone off when it's that late anyway.
Here we go. Poof, them numbers came to you again, huh?
I got the number. I had that voicemail passcode for a long ass time. And I did check it after we broke up. I did.
All right, so listen to me. There are people out here that are going to say that you are crazy, delusional, deranged. That motherfucker want attention. None of that shit she say is true. What do you say to those people before we get out of here?
I have very little to say to that because I'm not going to defend not being crazy, but I will say when you have been emotionally neglected as a child, this is the residue, the wanting to be seen, the extra attention, the extra reassurance. And when you get a little bit of that, it's like giving a kid candy. I want it all. I want more and more and more. And so you get caught up in the fantasy of what they painted it to be. And that's exactly what you think you need being an emotionally neglected child that survived, because I survived all of that.
Okay.
You know, and so I would tell them the truth needs no proof. And I don't have to lie to have relevance.
Tell me this, because someone would say, well, if that was back in 2016, 2017, it is 8 years later. Why come out with your truth now?
Well, because I am in a space in my life where things are bubbling to the top as far as the decisions I have made. Like I said, I survived a stroke and heart failure in March. So being in recovery gives you a lot of time to reflect on the decisions you have made. Number one, with my health, with my finances, So it's like a part of the healing process to get naked in front of yourself and deal with yourself. No putting it, because I could he ha 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 all day long when I see him putting out his movie, and that was a great accomplishment. Because to be honest with you, if he ever sat down with Tyler Perry or someone that could bring his stories to life, we talk about Tyler Perry need new stories. If he ever got with Papa Duck from Detroit, Michigan, that man will be a multimillionaire because his stories are captivating, they're relevant, and he's historically correct.
Well,
He's a phenomenal writer. He's a phenomenal writer.
I appreciate that. A lot of people would think that you would be negative on that part, but I am glad to hear that. Before we get out of here,
I want the best for him.
As you should, as do I. My question to you is, before we get out of here, what would you like to say to me?
I would like to say your content is the bomb. It's very exciting and it's very real. And we don't have a lot of that right now in today's time. A lot of people want to create content that is not relevant and it's just a filler. And we're so over fillers. We need the truth. We need real conversations. And I appreciate that because that's where my frequency gravitates to. I love the truth. I'm not a big on lies and what they call that catfishing. I'm not big on none of that. I am what I am, but what I am, it is, if that makes sense.
I want to say thank you. I appreciate that. And definitely on my part, I'm going to try to keep coming with the content. We may do a part 2 on this. There may be people who have questions. If that's up to you, if that's okay. There may be other segments. If there's anything that you come across, inbox me or whatever, or do like you did. Just come out of nowhere and not just make my day, make somebody else's day, because our stories do have to be told. I want to thank you, Miss Alice. Make sure I say that, Miss Alice. Because I don't want no problems.
You can't say it 3 times. You can't say it 3 times. I ain't gonna tell you what that's.
I don't say it 3 times. I don't. But I appreciate you coming on to the show. It has been a great interview. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
I hope your healing process and everything that you're going to comes to a head and it completely gets out of your body, gets out of your mind, and gravitates to somewhere else so you can completely heal. And you can have the best version of yourself. All righty?
That's right. That's where I'm going, to the best version of myself.
You have a great, great day. When I say a great day, and thank you again, for Miss Alice, for coming in to the Mr. Straight Up Show.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Right back.
How do I hang this up now? How do I do this? I think you got to disconnect me.
I got you.
Okay. Thank you.